What's up, everybody? Am I happy? Absolutely not. How can I be happy? I only have two fucking arms. I only write with one of them, and I look at it with two ears. Why my ears? Because every time I write something, I'm always talking to myself. Then I got to check that I put the letters in the right place. I'm a little unhappy because I have too much information, but it's all bullshit. You know why? Because everybody has the truth but me. Why don't we start looking at whatever story we see is not a truth, but a story, a history, something from somewhere else, something that has been repeated from one and one and one and one until it became three. Because from one to three is the two of thought. And if you don't think at all, your three will be five and be in the middle of nowhere. Or will it be your five, five, five? Have you ever tried saying news, N-E-W-S, north, east, west, and south, N-E-W-S? The N letter is the Christ in the middle of Rubik's Cube. 1 and 4 makes 5. The E to the E world is 2, 1, 2 on your dice. X and you in the center of it, putting you on reading railroad, not starting from go. But you got 2 dice and the average is 6 point something. Actually it's 7 because that's the average, but it's not the average. I'm not happy because I don't have no more weed left. Let it go to the last minute. But this is what I found out. All my life I've been bothered by the French word 80. 80. Until I found out that 80 was the ace to the king in the deck. So I said, great. I'm the king because this is my crown and I'm in charge of man 6 through the light of the halo. So 13 king and 6 of man makes 19, the one cycle of the moon, 19, 19, 19, 57, double it up, 114, 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days. Now, we're going to have a cigarette. Now, from 91 times 4, which is all the cards in the suit, equals to 91 times 4 suits, or 4 of the seasons equals 364 to 13 moons. 1.25 moons, 1.25 days, 30 hours is not there. 1 day of 24 and 1 day of 6. 24 is 14 and 10 is 6 man, 14, 10, and 6, which is actually 5, 1, and 6. 5 and 6 is 11, 1 and 5 is 6, 6 and 1 is 7. Where the spirit is, where the spirit she goes. There's a spirit in everything, but it's got to be going from somewhere. Is it asking the question or looking for the answer? Or is it just agreeing? So now we have the 1.25 days. Now we take off the 19. We have 72. So 72 times 5 degrees makes a day, 360 degrees. But 72 times 4 is 288. Times the 1.25 moons we miss makes the 360 degrees, telling me that 288 days is a year. But wait a second. 72 times 5 makes 360. So that means for every 5 years, we're only getting 1 year. But at the beginning, we said we're 1 for 4 spirit. So we're actually getting 1 year out of 20 years. So when we're 80 years old, we'll only be 4 years old because the little kids grow quick. Do you understand what I'm saying? But when we get old, the mind dies. The body continues growing inside, but the mind can't handle it anymore. So you die. And if you die by the age of 88, you have made it to the height of the Twin Towers. Because 88 by 288 is 166. 66 and 66 is 132, which is 264, which is 246. The N letter of your mind with the antenna going up. Earphones. Check your telephone. 4 on the left, 6 on the right, 2 in the top. We're connecting into the heavens. Let's start thinking between the grapevines. You might call them grapevines because of the grayness, but what's the real color inside the brain? So now we have 72 by 5, which made the whole 360. But everybody knows we don't go to the roof. We stay 1 level down. we'll take the third quarter, 288. 288 times 1.25, which is cross, an X, and a line. 6 points. 288, 6 points. So we have 288 now, times 5 times 5 times 5, which is the 5th of May, the day I got sick. That's the 5 crossing, the 5 crossing, the 5 crossing. 3 crossings in this one, 3 crossings in that one, but when you put them all together, there's 4 crossings, because there's one that's different in each one that complete it. 2 out of 3 and 2 out of 3. 3 out of 4 in Jupiter and 3 out of 4 in Jupiter. 6 out of 8. 7286. The one way we know. So 288 times the 125 or 1.25 or 30 hours in the day at the end equals to 360 degrees. 288 divided by 6 is 4, is 24, and 48 is 8. It totals 48. 48. 148. 146. Because 4 and 6 are the earphones on your ears. This is the 8. It's down here. 1 times 48. 8 by 4 is 32. And 8 plus 4 is 12, totaling 44. Times 2 is 88 again. 288s. 288s again. 48. Okay. 4 by 8. 4 plus 8. 44. Times 2, because there's 2 of them. Okay, equals 2 times 88, or the 288 we started with. 44 to 72 is 28. 28. The 28 of the 4-moon cycle. 44 Barack Obama. When you pass 44 to 45, you are in between on the clock. 45 would be 9, but 45 degrees is 130. 1 and 30 is 31. Spirit of creation comes. They must beat it by the 45 to end the game in 288. We're all only 4 years old, or if it's 88, we are 4 years old, and 4 years old is 40 days is 72. Okay? 80 days, 160 days, 200 days. 200 days equals 10 days. 6, 1, and 3. So 200 in Monopoly equals to 10 days. Why? Because 10 times 4 gets you around back to go. That's the minimum. And 10 by 6 is 60. Brings you only halfway around in Monopoly. Now 8 times 10 is 80 is 2 times around in Monopoly. Do you understand? The Monopoly game, the roulette, the craps, it's all mixed in here. These are very special men. They are smart. They're working with Matrix Beta. She has all the information, and she has the answers too, because she's been through this before. We've lived this before. Our evolution just came a little bit sooner this time. Instead of in 21 or 22, 25, why do you think the Jewish calendar ends at 5775? Because the first one went an extra 225 years before they got the first tract right. Then everyone after that went 200, 200, 200. The 9 legs of the cat, the square in the middle, 8 around times 45 is 360. 25 around by 8 is 200. X equals 10, O equals 15. 25 is the queen and the king, the 12th and the 13th card in the deck. The cross of Christ in Rubik's Cube and the ace in blackjack are also 25. We can use the E and the T, saying it's tea time, and that's also 1/4 of 25 because they're getting together. At 45 is an angle switch. Do you understand? Where the points on the clock, let's say you'll have the number 1, then you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you'll have the next number. Well, in between, skip the first 1 and 2, or skip the first 1 from both sides. You'll have 3 in the center. You go in the center, you have 1 on the left, 1 on the right, 1 protecting 1 on the left, 1 on the right from the 5-minute mark of the 72 times around. So if we're 4 years old, in all actuality, we can also be 5 times that, because the E letter that we start is 5 times everything. So instead of being 4 years old. We are, let me look at this, 4 years old. 20 days is 1. 40 days is 72. 720 degrees. 720 degrees in 40 days. 2 times around in 40 days. So let's say that was 2 years around in 40 days, in 400 days, in 4,000 days. How many days around? I have 40 days, gives me 2 times around. In 4,000 years, it gives me 72 times around. Oh, I'm getting mixed up with my own numbers because it keeps doubling up. 20, 40, 80, 160. Then we go 8 times the heaven, 8 times the heaven, which equals 2.5, which equals 20. Why 2.5? 25, 2.5, 2.5. However the 2 and 5 comes together, it really doesn't matter. It's a tell. They're playing poker. They're playing chess. Which man are they moving? Who can do what? This is one of the setups. This is the setup of the 9 card. Why? The 9 card has 2 and 2, 2 and 2. Then has the center Spitfire, 2 and 2. I just added in the little detail over here so nothing overruns and runs water down, so the oceans are held in. And then this is the next star. First star, second star, third star, fourth star, North Star, the Vikings. So where's my book so we can look? I have to get a little drink so you can take a little drink. I do this all live. I do not record it. I want to know what my true thought is at the moment you get it. Because if I watch it after and I pre-recorded and pre-did it and thought it out, no way, man. I give you the originality. You take it as a story. The truth is what you believe. And guess what? Even if you believe this side and that side, it's always better to say, leave it in between. It's about this and that. It could be either or. And that's a good way because now you opened up the either and the or to row. So now you got something to balance on, to shove in between or on top. Make a little ice cream out of it. Maybe we'll put a little bit of ketchup and mustard in it. Maybe we'll change the color, change your ideal of the thought. But I'm thirsty, and that's what I got to get as a fruit drink. Because in extra normal, they say, keep it up. But every 15 minutes, you have to have a fruit drink. So I'm taking a little fruit. I'm going to have a little drink over to the sink before I start to think and demise and all surprised to know that a fruit drink is something I shall take for now. And I come back with you to show you. This is a pig. I'm studying it. But when it dries off, I put 2 pieces outside to my cats on the balcony. And I cut it up 2 different ways or 3 different ways. Because what I'm trying to do is see which way they like the fat better. In the meat, on the meat, do they like it near the bone? Where's their specialty to eat this thing? Abraham, the ham, your ass, the hummingbird, the song, the thought sitting on your ass is a reminder of just a reminder is good enough to say, is it left or right? Let me take a look at it and take no sides. Keep it in the V right over here. I can turn everything around in this V. Okay? When I make my decision, it was yay or nay. It was 4 or 6. But how did I get to the 4 or the 6? I am 11. It took the 5 and the 6 man of who is the king. Makes me 24 hours a day. 2 plus 4 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. Heaven of man. 8 and 6 is 14. The center of Rubik's Cube is the cross. The heavens of man's cross. The crossings of man, the misunderstanding. So let me go back. I want to see what this is. Oh, this even partakes in memory and everything. Put it this way, whatever I am doing exists already. Okay? What doesn't exist is me talking about it. I need a Tums. At 88 years old, if I understand this right, you are 22 plus 11, 33 years old. At 88, you're 33. That's one of my things here. Why? Because of the French terminology. 80. The cat is in the vine. We are the cats in the vine. 20 for 1. It could be a numerological number for money and an amount of money they need to go on to the next semester. They buy cards out of the game to see what they get to do next. They need money to buy these cards to stay ahead of everybody. Do you understand? They buy cards. Can I get another card, please? Well, that's going to cost you $3 trillion for the next one, because the next card, my friend, could be one of these. You see, because it's in French, it helps me, because I don't understand it. But I do understand it, because I can tear it apart and put it back together and say what it actually says. The bottom, you see the way it's brown paper? Inside the brown paper, the story has been burnt. Here I am, my friends. On the back, this is the light. All those energies that you see is us going up and down from Merlin, all the way back down to Earth. It's Merlin, the wise man, gives us all the decisions. We have to make the last choice. Crazy, eh? We have to make the last choice. Well, that's actually the first choice. First is last is best, because when you go onto the computer, you see one with an exclamation point and a plus and a minus in blue because of the two worlds. The 2, the same thing. The 3, the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A bracket. Wait a second. 9 has come up. It's a birth. It's in the bracket. What is it, a boy or a girl? Close the brackets. You see the end, it's a minus, and then it's a plus, and go back to the beginning, because your numbers are starting over. 6, 1, and 3. Every Sunday, it's Sunday night. It's happening right now on Sunday Night Football. 6, 1, and 3. Somebody scored a touchdown with an extra point. The other guy came back, scored a field goal. 3 parts of creation of 7. The difference is 4, and that's on the scoreboard. The birth of a number on the scoreboard. It doesn't have 2 legs, but it's a number 7. It's got a hook. You want to see what a number 7 can look like? Here's a number 7. See, he's got one eye. He's got a big walnut in the head, but he's always falling backwards. He's crying for help. That's a 7. I just bubbled it out. We're supposed to put things over things. They brought us to school, and they taught us to put things in holes that were the same shape. Well, why didn't we just block the hole, make the shape on paper, and put another shape on top and see what it looks like if it wouldn't go in? It didn't go in when you were younger. The square and the star didn't go in together. But you can still do it on paper. It works on paper. So why not do it? Holographs can. They do it in the theater. I told you. Whatever I'm doing has been done before. I'm just bringing it back one step on where the first dot started. Don't forget Morse code. Morse code went to letters, went upstairs, and became a whole sentence to a whole crew. Let's pick one more card. And don't forget about the 4 disciples that were fishermen. I just read, he writes the Bill of Independence. Just reading the word, we the people. Who is we the people? What does it mean, we the people? That's not enough. That's not enough. We have to be we the people of the number system. Why? Because we all get a vote. All our votes say number 1 on it. And And that's not right. All our votes should say exactly who we are, because that's our opinion. And you can now see the opinions of the person. When you're living in a small town, you voice your opinion. But all of a sudden, things got very private. When it came to spend money, you whip your hand inside your purse and you throw out the credit card. And there's all your information from right from the day you were born. But you throw it out there, but you're scared online. But you throw out that plastic wherever you go. And every time the computer goes click, 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 everybody's listening, because the antenna on top of the building goes up another 29 floors, equaling to 140 floors. The monopoly game equality. You don't need to go any higher. Now the camera scope goes out, picking up the difference, picking up the information of everything below. Now, if there's more than 2 people in the game, they already read the rules, and somehow they had to take down their own buildings. So they knew it before. They did it to make money. They cheated. But they're allowed. In their rules, they have no rules. You understand? Take it down, put it up, take it down. What do they care? They're reptilians. That's what they want to do. Put them in, take them out, take it in, put it out. In the oven, out of the oven. You know what I'm saying? Ay, 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 ay. It looks like, anyways, another thing I was gonna show you is how I can make 2 satanic stars without lifting my pencil off the paper. But we're not going to do that yet. So they had to take those twin towers down. As it said in the report, they had a 45-mile view, or 45-mile view, if it was in code, 45 degrees all the way around, 360. That means 360 times 45. Plus, there were 2 towers, but one of the towers would view into the next tower. So that angle would go away. But that would leave it at 315. The next tower can see over the first tower. They can actually both see over each other. But the windows are blocking below the internal view of between the buildings, the vibrations that they pick up. I'm going to knock that off. If I knock that off, then the 2 corners of the building each go down from 360 degrees to 315. 315 is 630. 630 times 6 times 30 is 180 degrees. Halfway around each, halfway around the other. They're both picking up halfway only. Halfway signals. Like this with their hands. They're going back to the other building, and the other building's turning back their hands like this. They lock hands together, and they receive the signals of the eye of whatever's going inside that building. And then, at the same time, 360 degrees by 45, let's say 50, because it's going to be easier, is 15. Again, 18,000 less 15 less 18, 18 less 18 is, let's hold on a second, 45. I should do the whole thing. Let me do it with a calculator. I'm not in the mood. 45 times 360 equals 16.2. 162, 216, 261, 16226. From 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. What time are they open and closed for cleaning in the towers, and what time do they get off the floor and work? 6, 2, and 1 means the party is the baby, and the baby is the money. And they're in for business. 1 money of the 6 man of the 200. Pass go. They're in the 8s, don't forget. Building number 7 only completes the block. They made it shorter because it couldn't be taller because of 1. 1 and 6 makes creation of 7 on the dice cube. So 1 and 6 are the opposites. You have to chop it in half and make building number 7 shorter. 315 is ACE, is ace. If you add them and put them together in order of 1, 3, 5, it says ace, ace. Ace, ace is 11, 11. 315 and 315 is the view. I took off 45 from the 360. ACE is what it says. ACE, ACE, 135, 135. Means two aces. An ace in blackjack is 11 and 11 because they're holding the highest cards. Or what you can actually say is they are the king and they are the ace and they're playing Pai-Gow poker. And the two aces can't be beat because they're big slick in the front, ace, 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 because they have all the aces except for you. Just your mind they picked off. So this over here, 135, and 135 is 270 plus the 3 creation of the moon, 39 weeks. We have a child that's born, creation of the Twin Towers. Now I can work these numbers over and over again, and I eventually came up with a number that I really liked. 7 times 30 is 210, but I got it another way, because instead of having 7 months times 31 days is 217, we have 7 months of 30 days. And then creation was added onto it. 1 more dice, 1, 1, 1, 1. So they took it away from the 7 months because they took you away. You now have no rights. And that's the one point of your life. 1 is 10, and that is freedom. Where am I at? Blowing off this pig and looking into, I was fooling around with this. Okay, there's so many ways to do. You can see it as a staircase over here. You can see this is a staircase over here. Do you see these? Y and Y, Y and Y, Y and Y. We're all strapped to the flags. We're strapped. It may be looking like a pointer up, and when you put them together, it's a wolf, 2 wolves. Wolf, wolf. If I put a little eye, let me see. The wolves. You see these? These are the birds. Here's the wolf. You see the wolf? And the wolf, we howled at the moon, me and you. We wanted information. We're stuck together, 2 of us. Who's watching us on this side? The shark. Who's watching us on this side? The shark. This is the bookends. The bookends hold us in together. The one spirit, shark on each end. We have to tackle this world. Here is the center of the world. 6, 5, 6, 5. 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5. The hidden magic of the flag. 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11. Why do I do this? Okay, because the flag has stripes, and they can't be stars, because it's the red blood of the blue world, and you're not theirs in all, just in the 50 states. But once you're there, do you remember the first flag with the circle? You're going to have the circle all right, but you're going to be entrapped by the stars. And how many are going to be in that circle? 22? I don't know. How many was the first one? Whatever the first one is, add on maybe 4 more, because now they have us. So we have this, and I'm going to show you one more picture. I'm redoing the chess game over here. Here's the wolf again. This is one side. This is my territory. Once I can trap this way, trap this way, trap this way, trap this way. Here's the king over here. He's trapped, and we're going to beat him up. I put both sides and both sides with letters. I opened it up. Now she's the size of the Monopoly game. Now I can play 2 games and piano also. Look, 7 of the piano and 7 of the piano. Now there's an 8. 8 means 1. 8 and 1 is 9. 7 and 2 is 9. 3 and 6 is 9. 4 and 5 is 9. 8 means 1. We're in this world here, and we got to play. 8 by 8 is 64. Look at it on your phone. I'm starting one more American flag over here. Plus, somebody sent me something that was quite interesting, full of numbers. I'm going to do that. Just want to show you that here we are. This is upstairs. This is us stuck between. This is primary. Okay? Primary, 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 primary. But it's on an angle. That way they keep it together with these lines. None of these lines are on an angle. This one is. This one is. This is the creation lines. on an angle. Inside the box. Square box. Square box of God. We're entrapped in the totality in both worlds. So the only fear is the last moment of the unknown. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. My advice in numerology right now as to my book is prepare for a shortage of food for the next 6 months. I don't like to say that, but that's what comes up in the numbers. Now, since we're north and we think we have enough food and everything else, the checks you're thinking of receiving from the U.S., I think you can forget about it if they didn't put it in the mail. Or it depends, if you're still sending stuff and waiting for checks, one of those checks won't come in, and you know what? The Canadian bank won't even take it. It'll take you 2 weeks to process it. So if you're running low on money, the markets will be empty. Because down the storm of Sandy, I read a story, and it said boats heading along Sandy, just staying in front of it. Just staying in front of it? What if she whips? Meaning they control her. She's part from outside the world, adding in for what they were calling inside the world. This is a twin world effect. They're holding her back with magnetics, but then they're going to whiplash her and send her out. So the boats, the troops, the Navy SEALs, just like in Titanic. Another word in French is the SEAL to fuck you. Because there's SEALs, Navy SEALs in the Arctic, they call them fucks. Fucks you. PHOCS. They're going to come here and help you for the tornado, but they won't leave. And they'll call for more help. And more help will come. And all of a sudden, they've stopped the passage. And they're now interrogating those who are going around to the Suez Canal. The St. Lawrence River, Suez Canal of the East. It's not in Israel here. But we have a long reputation for something a lot of people don't know. We doubled up when we came out here. We opened up 2 synagogues. One north, northwest, northeast, and the other one just after Montreal. The first of, the furthest of. Not regarding to where there's a division now of where the 440 is, because that's a device. Okay, you can block that traffic anywhere there. North-south, you're not supposed to block the traffic. But east-west, they seem to do it more often than not. They never fix the roads. So once they stop those ships and boats coming in with food, fruits, vegetables from somewhere else, they'll keep it for themselves. And then eventually the boats will stop coming because they'll see what's going on. There are pirates on the lake. So no more boats come into Montreal. Everybody goes home. There's no work. We can't do anything in Montreal because there's hardly any more food. And people are going into work to make money that they will never be able to spend. But yet tomorrow they're still going to go into work on the 28th, 29th day of the year. And they'll forget all about that it's first their honey and last the money, because nothing will be sweet unless she's taken care of. And your likes and hopes and wishes and what can I do and what do you think I should do is all pretty simple. Be good to your family, be good to yourself, and understand you're nothing without your own mind, and if you let somebody else control it, you are nothing at all until you get home. And then you have your mind at work, and you use your work mind on your wife, because you had a hard day, so you find an excuse to use it on her. There's no excuse in this world to raise a voice. There's no excuse to not let the other party listen to what you have to say, and there's no excuse for not listening to what your partner has to say, because if you say something, you must let the other say something back. But not back and against. Make it into a situation. Hypothetical. What if this and that? Oh, this is the way you think? Well, listen, I have a hard time in my heart handling that thought. I'm going to explain to you why. And the man won't understand why, but you got to understand why. We're two fucking different people, man. You explain to her, try and get her out of that why she doesn't like it, make her like it because you like it, and if she can't, maybe try to go a little bit deeper to like it, or in a relationship, just handle it. She, and you're you, and just leave it the way it is sometimes. But don't ever stop somebody from speaking, and don't ever stop somebody from getting the chance to speak themselves. It's all the stopping from speaking that hurts us the most inside our heart. The wanting to speak and the being stepped on, or the speaking and being stepped on or stepping on somebody else. Whiplash. You know what I did today? I was drinking out of this bottle, and all of a sudden I went, what the hell was that all about? What if that was magnetic? And I was pulling out. As I would be pulling out, the magnetic would be going down. It would be going down, and whoever's in it would be held to the ground. They'd be strapped around their head. You wouldn't see it, because that's how much they weigh. The water is the pull. That doesn't mean it's an excuse for not using your head. I come here with a hypothetical thought in which I believe is true. I versed left and I versed right and I humbled in between as five. I versed out and I spread my arms to you, telling you my five and how I got to my five. And then you told me what you thought of the five. And you juggled it around. And then at the end, for both of us, it either came out to this side or to that side. But if I'm facing you, one arm would be here and the other would be here. It would be the letter M, and that's the word of love. Here, front, view, back, view. You understand? Back view and forward view are different. So, either we're 5 years old or we all die, but you can't be 20 on Sugar Mountain. And the average death is 80. 80 divided by 5 is 20. You're dead. The last 5 years, you're senile. You can't do anything. You're in the house. You're dead anyways. Half your spirit has already gone up. So you feel good all the time. Nothing bothers you, but you're tired of being here already. You're ready to go because you feel you already know where it is and it's not so bad. It's a weird thought. The other thing I was doing was, listen to this. We start our week Monday at lunchtime. Because by Monday at lunchtime, we've already left the weekend and we're all harassed. So we start Monday at lunch. We go through Monday into Tuesday at lunch, 1 day. From Tuesday at lunch, we go to Wednesday at lunch, 2 days. Wednesday at lunch to Thursday at lunch, 3 days. And Thursday at lunch to Friday at lunch, 4 days. So your week is comprised of actually 4 days. So let me go here to here and Friday. So your week is comprised of 4 days. Why? Because afternoon, your last hours are over and the week is over, and Monday the first 12 hours is the thought. So Monday is the start and Friday is the over thought. So you have 3 days plus 1 day, because Friday, regardless of the 24 hours, it touches Saturday. And Sunday and Monday, they touch. So you can add on the 24, but the number of days actual in a week is 72. And then it's 96 because of the Monday and the Friday over. But, okay, but it's also Sabbath. So you must remove 12 hours. And you end up with 84. 7 days, 12 hours, 84 hours. How they're put up the hours? 12 hours a day. 12 hours a day and 12 hours a day is 24 hours. The 84 is 7 times 12. Or the 84 is 4 times 20 is 80.4, the 4 corners. You know, I know it's a little mishkabibble. I have a lot of numbers here. There's so many things to say. I mean, I can also say 480 degrees and 2 times 360 equals 12 o'clock. So what am I actually turning around to get this? I get the number of 12 o'clock because of the turnarounds, but what actually am I looking for? Really, and right now, not too much. What I can tell you is this little fact, which is really funny. That 6666 is 132. I'll show you how it's done. This world and this world together, then this world and this world together. It's actually 6 and 6, but anyway, 66 and 66, 132. 66 and 66, 132. 2 by 64 is 128. 2 times 28 split 256. 256. Okay, and 256 is 512. I don't know why I put 112, but it's 512. I'll have to take a look. 144. Oh, because of the 144, 112 dash 144, 114 minutes, or 9 or 4 days. 4 days at 360. So again, I'm back to the 3 days. But this here is 512. That from this is 144 and 144. 144 and 144. 288. Okay. 144 and 112 is 256. 112 is 256. I don't remember where I got all the numbers from, but they have to do with the hours of the days of the week. Okay? 11 is K and 2 is B. K and B is the computer talk. 256 is the memory talk. 144 and 144 left over to 288, which is 288 times 1.25 turnarounds. One line this way, one line this way, and one line this way, and you have the whole 288 turnaround, because we never go back here. The Earth doesn't go all the way around the sun the way you think it does. This planet doesn't work the way you think it does. It works the way I think it does. Another thing is the Mayans talked about 18 days and 20 months. Well, of course. 18 days, 20 months, 360 days. 18 days, 20 months, 360 degrees. One time around. One time around in 20 days or 18 days. You see, there's a screw up here. I can't exactly explain it because it says 4 days, okay, or in French it says 80, which means 4/20, which means 80. 80 times 2.5 is 200. 200 plus 160, which is 160 degrees around, would make the complete year. I'm sorry to talk like this. I'm sorry if I couldn't really include you. Another thing I wanted to show you, when Beta starts, she's 3 and 2. She works with 7 and 9. 2 with 7, 9. 3 is the creation. Take a look. Doesn't it look like a Star Wars thing that walks? The letter R walking both ways. The other thing I didn't show you is this mark over here. It's an alpha omega, 5 and 2. Doesn't look like it because I didn't round it out. But this is the alpha omega. In Hebrew, they call it tav tav. And I look at it as tough luck. It's too late. It's over. Raphael, for whatever you didn't understand, I was confused in part of it myself. But when I was doing it, I knew 100%. I can see all these numbers doing 10 different things. So if I come and tell you something now, I'm lost because I don't know which story to tell you. There are so many stories. Take it as is. It just is as. And as is just. You make it just in your own mind. Take me as a grain of salt. Throw a little pepper on it. Maybe the gray will start coming up and you'll start to see the light. Another thing I wanted to tell you, get yourself a pair like this. Auto parts dealers have them. Most other places don't have the good ones, and check that they're really dark. The other pair you buy is I went to the only place that I was able to get them is at Praxair or Fixair somewhere, a place that sells oxygen and welding places. Get their yellow glasses. When you put them on and look into the sun, if the glares stand out, then buy them. Play around with the 2 pairs of glasses, man. It's really weird. The sun starts to oscillate, and then all of a sudden these lines are not moving. It's like there's 2 suns. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just for me, it doesn't make sense. Don't forget, I'm a high school graduate and no more. The only book I've ever read is How To. So I'm trying real hard How To, but I'm still in the class for dummies because I'm getting few views. That means no one's watching me. So either nobody knows how smart I am, or I'm still in the book for dummies. But at the end, everybody knows we saved the best for last. Raphael, 72, 86. In the constellation of my beauty horse, Pegasus, and my mountain that trembles of the white ghost. Thank you.